Hey there everybody, what is going on? My name is Aditya and welcome back to another brand new video. And in today's video, actually this is the second video for today. So in this video I'm just going to be talking about the aurelia.js stuff, and the today's stuff that we are going to be talking about is the events and the event delegates. I'm really sorry, event aggregator. So obviously we're going to be learning quite a few things, like the event aggregator, which includes the dependency injection, what exactly is meant by dependency injection, and how exactly you trigger the buttons that are available on your HTML page, and inside of your JavaScript how do you make the changes to update those results. So yeah, it is going to be quite like 10-15 minutes of video, I guess. So I don't know, so let's just jump right into it. So as you can see, I'm exactly at the point. I don't know why I reset to this point every single time I'm performing some certain task. I have not been doing this anything with this laptop quite yet, so I'm really sorry. But yeah, exactly, you have the hello world, and I got this aurelia run hyphen watch command running on my git bash over here. So obviously what do I want to do in this episode is show you the events. So let's just jump right into it. Well, let's just say in here now I want to go ahead and create in a button, and I don't want it to be connected to the backend so that it can go ahead and jump to the backend. I just want that whenever it is clicked, it should be it should be running some function inside of my JavaScript code. So button, and as you can see there are three different functions: click.call, click.delegate, and click.trigger. And even there are three different functions for the double click, that is double click.call, double click.delegate, and double click.trigger. Now just in case you guys are wondering what exactly how exactly did it come up, there's a plugin for the Visual Studio Code that is actually by the Aurelia itself, which is giving you all these functions built in, and it is even giving you, like, if you want to generate something, it is giving you everything like that. So I guess it's quite cool. It jumps to that always, but anyways, so let's just jump right into it. So most of the times you want to go ahead and use the delegate option. Now just like in this tutorial, I'm going to be using the delegate. Now let's just say I want to go ahead and trigger the function named as test, and the test function, I have to go ahead and define it right over here. I'm really sorry, I don't know. Okay, so test over here, and what do I do inside of this test? So I go ahead and say something like I want to change the message. Let's just say test triggered. Okay, there we go. There's nothing in the button, so I can go ahead and put down there anything, like let's just say test. Yeah, so now you can go ahead and see that there's one button over here and there's the message down there. Now if I hit on test, it should say test triggered, and it should change the message automatically. Quite impressive, right? But let's just move on to something else. There are several buttons, like if you have seen my semantic UI series, or if you have used any of the button styles that you are using from the Timpanus side, the code drops, those fancy looking buttons over there, and if you are throwing the code in to go ahead and make sure that your button looks fancy, and or you want that button to be disabled, like on Facebook, whenever you go and hit that login button over there. Obviously I never go to Facebook, but when I was back in the day when I was going, there was button over there. When I used to hit that button, it was automatically being disabled. Now in that case, you are not gonna be interested in this delegate option, because as per the MDN developers network documentation, what is the stuff, so as per that, you cannot go ahead and use that. So in that case only, you just have to go ahead and use the trigger. Obviously both of them work the same way. Use delegate most of the time. So obviously as I said, there is the double click over there, so dbl click, and I can go ahead. Now if I click once, nothing happens. If I double click over there, yeah, test is going to be triggered. So that is going to be it for the just those little triggering stuff like that. So obviously I just wanted to make the video quite short. I could have simply thrown in this, like, how much it's been, like 5 minutes. So obviously I'm gonna be moving on to the next stuff. The one of the most important concepts inside entire programming, dependency injection. And if you just really think about it, it's $100 concept, but actually it is being shown to you as like it's $1 million concept. What the people show to you is like it's huge, it's something really really important, but obviously it is not that important. It is important, I mean, but it's not pretty complex. There's no rocket science present inside of that concept. The concept is really small. You just inject a library, dependency injection, that's it. But when you put it in the programming, you are gonna be getting into a little bit of trouble and the stuff like that. So obviously let's just go ahead and see how exactly the dependency injection in Aurelia works. And believe me, it's just 3 lines of code, maybe 4 or 5 depending on how many libraries you are going to be including. So yeah, so very first thing, let's just go ahead and import the inject from Aurelia-framework. I don't know how do they go ahead and put that in. So I want to go ahead and hit the import. Now this is the second thing that I want to go ahead and import, obviously. So let's just go ahead and import the event aggregator. Obviously you can go ahead and say it anyhow. I'm having a hard time with this laptop keys. So from Aurelia event aggregator. Okay, there we go. So obviously you just have to go ahead and include these 2 libraries. And the third line of code, as I said, it is just the 3 lines of code if you are really considering it in that way. I want to go ahead and inject the event aggregator. There we go, and we are done with this thing right now. So in my constructor I'm gonna go ahead. Okay, so let's just go ahead and quickly remove of this thing, because I'm gonna be talking about event aggregator. I'll be showing you the piece of code first, because you are not gonna be getting anything if I just explain it right now. So constructor, inside of constructor I'm gonna be passing in the event aggregator, and say this dot event aggregator means stand short for event event aggregator. There we go. So what we have in here, we have just in the constructor class. Now think of it as right at the time when it is running. I'm really sorry, I just hit the mic. Right at the time it is running, just go ahead and pass in the side argument and assign it to a variable such that it can be used throughout this class, globally. Just think about it like that. It's a global variable that is put into a class. And obviously this event aggregators injection is working in this particular parameter right over here, which is passed inside the constructor class. So obviously you can go ahead and figure that out. It's gonna be used in a lots of programming concepts. If you are just starting out, I'm just gonna be warning you. So now in here I'm gonna be saying 3 different buttons. Okay, so let's just go ahead and set a button and click dot delegate publish. These functions obviously we're gonna be creating. Now all of these 3 functions are not gonna be called as publish. So the second one will be subscribe. Now this is how the event aggregator works, so obviously you cannot blame me for anything that is happening in here. Okay, so there we have the 3 different buttons with 3 different properties. I'm really sorry if you are hearing those background noises, because still there's festival over here. I was supposed to record it at like 8 8:30 or something like that. I don't know, but half an hour ago I was supposed to record, but there was a lots of fireworks crackers over here. I was not really able to record. So completely off topic, I know. So let's just move on in the app.js file. Now there's the constructor with event aggregator, and this .ea equals the event aggregator. And now we're going to be creating those three functions. That is the publish, second one was subscribe, and the third one was dispose. There we go. So what we want to do next, quite easy and quite difficult if you just sort of understand it, but I'm gonna be writing all of this code first, and then only I'm gonna be moving on to the explaining of the code, what exactly is happening over there. So let's just say this .ea.publish, I'm gonna go ahead and publish a event with the name of, say, my test event. And you can go ahead and follow along with me if you want. You just go ahead and put it side by side, put this window on one side and put the Visual Studio Code on the other side, and follow along with me. So this .ea.publish my test event, and I want to go ahead and say that there's element named as test, and it contains a message, say, let's just go ahead and say a new date here, or I can go ahead and say math.random times 1000. Okay, I guess that should do it. Obviously I'm gonna clean up this code, because cleaning up the code is one of the best practices that you're gonna be inhabiting inside of you. Inside of the subscribe, now this .ea.subscribe, you just have to sort of subscribe before you do anything else. So my test event, comma, obviously you can understand a little bit of code that I'm typing in here. So let's just say I'm still gonna specify a response, and I'm gonna go ahead and say console.log, just log that response out. Obviously you can do a ton of things with the help of this. Log out the response itself. Now obviously this thing is gonna be converted into something like function response, and yeah, it just goes ahead and converts into something like this. But it is quite efficient in Aurelia to go ahead and specify this kind of arrow function in there. So yeah, so this dot dispose, this dot obviously ea dot dispose my test event, and there we go. And let's just say console.log disposed, and there we go, I guess. So yeah, there we have it, and let's just go ahead and see what we get in here. I'm gonna be inspecting it, because sort of getting the logging output over there. So let's just go ahead and hit the publish button first. Nothing really happens. Why? I don't know. Let's just hit the subscribe button for once. Nothing happens. Seriously? Let's just hit the publish button now. Wow, we get a number, a random maths number. You can see it over there. I'm publishing it over and 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 over, and I hit the dispose button. Okay, so something's wrong in the dispose function, I guess. I'll be checking it and I'll be right back. Just wait a second. Okay, so I guess I figured out what is wrong in here. So the stuff is, I am disposing something that is not really disposable. I can dispose a subscription, not a event aggregator itself. So that's why it is like showing me some sort of error. So what I can do in order to go ahead and change this thing is this dot subscribe equals this, and I'm gonna dispose the subscribe option in from there, and let's just see how does that go. So I can subscribe, publish, and dispose. There we go. Now publish again, nothing really happens. I'm really sorry for the whatever the error that just took place right over here at the in front of you. I'm really sorry. I don't really love the professional way like other coding channels are creating. I know they are rigging it out a lot. I do not rig these things. I go straight up to the screen and I start recording these things. Not like other people. I'm not gonna be taking the names. They are gonna be, like writing out entire thing. Then they are gonna script that thing. No, I don't do that bitchy things. So obviously, yeah, there we have it. So as you can say it right now, it's just like the YouTube, how the YouTube works. You're gonna be subscribing, obviously. Something's wrong again. Okay, subscribe is not a function. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go ahead and remove this kind of thing. It's over here. Subscribe, publish. Yeah, there we go. That's what it works. So basically the error was I specified the same name as the function to the variable. I'm really sorry. So whenever I subscribe, it just adds one more subscription, and when I publish, it adds 3 different things. Now I go ahead and subscribe one more time, and now it should publish 4 different things. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna clear out these things. Come on, there we go, and let's just hit the subscribe button now. I'm publish it. There should be 5. I press the subscribe button again. Gonna clear out the things and publish it one more time. There should be 6 of them. So what exactly is happening over here? As soon as you add a subscription and you're gonna be trying to go ahead and publish these things, it's gonna be sort of taking out. But one of the thing that may occur in your mind, just like it occurred in my mind, is why do I really need this thing? Okay, so the reason behind why you need this thing is that you might have a project in the front end. You don't know how it performs really, and you want that it should log out all of these files on your server side, that is to the back end. So you go ahead and simply throw in this sort of code. Obviously this is not visible to the public, so publicly obviously it is sort of visible, by the way, I guess. Yeah, it is sort of visible. Is it visible? I'm really sorry for checking that out. But these kind of things just work. So I'm sort of just checking it out. I'm okay, it is accessible, but it is nobody has that much head to go ahead and dig into your source code. How many times you go to the Google and see out what is there in the source code? Obviously there's a lots of AngularJS code, but yeah, anyways, completely off topic. I don't know why the hell I keep on saying some things. Okay, so inside of Aurelia, whenever you subscribe to one of these things, you go ahead and create a complete context menu, a complete menu sort of thing over there. Yeah, you add the subscriptions just like in YouTube. Like let's just say, I guess it's a bad idea to show my subscriptions in here. So yeah, there we go. There are there are my subscriptions. I'm really sorry. So as you can see, on this left side I have added a lots of subscriptions. Now whenever I go to the subscriptions tab, that is the publish tab, that works exactly the similar way, I guess. I go ahead and see all of these things that are like sort of just loading yet. So obviously it works similar to this, and as soon as you go ahead and hit that dispose button, it is like you are unsubscribing from one of that channel, and no longer one of those will be shown to you after you go ahead and put that in. So it is like where can you use it? Well, let's just say you have an application, you want to know what the user is doing. So in that case you go ahead and hit create a subscribe option. As soon as the user enters, user logs in, you're gonna be hitting the subscribe. Then as soon as user is doing certain changes, you are gonna be hitting that publish thingy, and you're gonna be changing that every single time. You're gonna be logging it to your log file, and then as soon as the user goes out, you just dispose that user. But the log file's content will be stored inside one of the file inside your server, just in case you want to test how your application is really going on. Obviously you don't really need that, there are way more better tools, but you know, it's sort of good that this thing is available right built inside the aurelia.js. So actually it's quite good. Not many frameworks have this thing. It's uniquely not unique, I may say. So yeah, I guess that is going to be it for this video. This is a code that I just shown to you guys. You can go ahead and copy it. I guess the best way to learn is see the code, copy the code, run the code, but then understand the code. So if you are not understanding the code, you are not gonna be understanding anything, so you're gonna be dead then. So obviously I guess I'm gonna be saying thank you for this episode right now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you loved this video, just slap that like button. See my previous video right over there, and the next video, if I upload it after this, will be right up there. And yeah, peace out. Thank you. Peace out. I said it twice.